Greg Norman has been hard at work over the past few months attempting to entice players in the PGA to convert to his rival Pro Golf League, and recently it appears that he has finally landed his first big fish. In today's video, we will be going over the controversial incident that will see a huge name in pro golf leave the PGA for the Aussie's Rebel Golf League. Stick around because you will not want to miss a second of this video. First up, what is the Super Golf League? The Super Golf League, or the SGL for short, is a breakaway pro golf league that plans to be an international rival to the PGA. The league is headed by the Australian golf legend Greg Norman, who has been hard at work trying to get this league off the ground, and it recently appears that he has done it again and has poached yet another huge name from the PGA. The league was looking like it may be dead before it even took off last month, when huge golf free agent Rory McIlroy committed to the PGA and signed another long-term contract with the pro organization, officially taking his hat out of the ring to be the next big name in the SGL. Not only did McIlroy take his name out of the running to be signed by the SGL, he claimed that the league was dead in the water. These were some harsh words that hit the SGL rather hard because they need all of the good publicity they can muster. However, league creator Greg Norman wasn't fazed by the words and does not seem to be worried about the state of the league, despite a name as big as McIlroy declaring it dead. I'm sure that may sound like misplaced confidence or even straight up arrogance, but that may not be the case. See, the SGL has what the PGA does not, an incredibly enticing amount of cash that would make any golfer's mouth water. According to Greg Norman, the SGL has a whopping $3 billion they can work with in order to pursue players and convince them to play in the SGL. The cash prizes that are being promised to the winners of tournaments in the SGL are more than that of the Masters, which is crazy to think about, especially when you consider the fact that the majority of the players currently in the PGA would have absolutely no problem beating the players that are currently signed to the SGL, as most of them are barely even ranked in pro golf. As of this moment, the SGL only has a few former PGA players, but their names are quite recognizable, like two-time Masters champion Bubba Watson, PGA veteran Kevin Na, as well as Lee Westwood and Ian Poulter. Not a shabby list of names, right? Well, recently the SGL added to their list of former PGA stars by signing Robert Garrigus. Next up, what is so crazy about Robert Garrigus coming over to the SGL from the PGA? As we mentioned, the SGL now has a roster of 5 former big names of the PGA, but the signing of Robert Garrigus is easily the most controversial and the biggest blow to the PGA that the SGL has delivered in this war so far. I'm sure that is raising some eyebrows, so let me elaborate. The other 4 former pro golfers that I mentioned all signed their contracts with the SGL after their contracts with the PGA had expired, which made them free agents and free to sign with whichever league they wanted, which allowed for them to select the SGL with no fuss and no muss. However, Robert Garrigus, even at the time of this video, is still currently signed on with the PGA Tour and has requested waivers from the PGA in order to be released from his contract so he can go play in the SGL's upcoming tournament, the LIV Golf Invitational. So now, the SGL has effectively persuaded a current member of the PGA to literally jump ship and play in a completely different league. Now, this entire situation is controversial for a ton of reasons, and we'll cover them all in a minute, but think of the ramifications this could have on the PGA going forward, especially if Garrigus makes it far in the tournament. If Garrigus leaves the PGA in the middle of the season, plays in an SGL tournament, and wins the tournament, thus securing a whopping $4 million first prize, which is almost double the prize pool given to the winner of the Masters, think of how many other better golfers will realize that they can make way more money playing in an easier tournament. Eventually, people are going to start seeing that they can earn way better money playing worse competition. Who's not going to want to do that? Right now, big-name golfers are staying away from the SGL as it is very new and could end up flopping even still, despite the $3 billion chest it has. But if a big name wins the tournament, then the PGA may have a problem. Furthermore, Garrigus is choosing to play in the SGL's tournament this year, which runs from June 9th to June 11th. If you are a PGA fan, that date may sound familiar, as it is the exact same date as the PGA's RBC Canadian Open. So not only is he a big name leaving the PGA to play in the SGL, but he is actively choosing to miss a PGA tournament to do so. SGL. This could spell real danger for the PGA much faster than anyone thought. On deck, what can the PGA do about it? Unfortunately for fans of the PGA, there may not be much they can do about it except hoping and praying that the really big names decide not to leave the PGA for the SGL. On one hand, I want to believe that the PGA remains the most decorated and highly respected league in the sport, and thus, the very talented players will opt to stay in the PGA rather than jump ship to the SGL. But on the other hand, the fact that players can win double the prize amount of the Masters in the SGL's very first tournament is absolutely wild, especially when you consider the fact that the competition is so much lower. That would be like winning double the prize pool of a UFC fight by winning a bar fight, or earning double the amount of the F1 season to win a series of drag races against a soccer mom in a weighed-down Ford Windstar. The competition will not be as good, at least at first that is, but the money is a huge motivator for these guys. They've worked their entire lives to make a living playing the sport they love, and there is a league that can fork over more cash for winning than it will undoubtedly bring over some names. And once they bring over 10 to 15 more big names, then it could spell doom for the PGA. Moreover, Greg Norman has already confirmed that this opening tournament's grand prize of $4 million will not be the biggest prize, and not by a long shot. He has stated that the winners of the future tournaments can be expected to be bringing home much more money than that. And then a few of our events will go by, and the top players will see someone winning $6 million, $8 million, and say, enough is enough. I know I can beat these guys week in, week out with my hands tied behind my back. It's crazy to think about, right? If these players keep playing these massive tournaments and bring home crazy cash, there's absolutely no doubt that some big names are bound to come over to the SGL for at least a year or so, right? I mean, Tiger Woods just had a less than amazing performance at this year's Masters. So what if he wanted to do one last tournament to really pad his bank account and make history in a new league? I could definitely see Tiger deciding to play in a tournament next year and take home an insane prize pool because he knows that he can. Tiger had the confidence in himself to believe he could win the Masters this season. Obviously, things didn't go down that way, but with his athletic ability and his raw talent, combined with his confidence, these golfers wouldn't stand a chance, and Tiger would essentially walk his way to a potential $8 million pot. And once Tiger Woods plays in the SGL, it will automatically become a legitimate league, thus attracting the entirety of the next generation of golfers to play in the SGL. It's a super slippery slope for the PGA that may all have been started by the mid-season signing of 44-year-old Robert Garrigus. Who would have thought, right? If Garrigus wins or a very low-ranked player wins this first tournament, I could see there being a real pull for players to switch over to the SGL, which could leave the PGA in a real pickle, as they clearly do not have the $3 billion to entice players back with. It's going to be an interesting ride, and one that all fans of golf are going to want to keep their eyes on. That's all we have for you guys on the channel today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.